Hey guys, it's Jimmy Lin. In this series, I'm going to walk you through attack on Pearl. Watch out for the stairs, clear this angle. You're going to be able to fight this.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Hey guys, Mega Fabs here, and I'm standing right now with Coach Eng of Card. Congratulations on that first map, the first map win of VALORANT Masters Madrid. Now, of course, we saw FPX had that near comeback. So how did the boys keep their calm and how were they able to close it out? Let us know what's going on behind the scenes.
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't say anything, to be honest. I feel like we are ready, we prepared, and I don't know. People don't understand, but FPX pretty decent team. They're really strong aimers, and yeah, it just I expected that they gonna shoot hard and hit hard. So yeah, it's kinda. But about us, yeah, I didn't say anything, to be honest. It's just all like props to our teams and Ewan and Ahmed. They prepared them also. The mentally wise, that's yeah, we are ready. So I don't know. I'm just happy we won.
Full trust in the team, gotta love it. Let's hope that can close it out in map 2.
Oh, if N is happy, I am happy. What a start it is for Casey here at Masters Madrid. I'm your host, Yingsu, and I'm back here with Mimi and Kukuka. It was a great start at Kukuka, and also a very convincing way for Casey to close it out.
Yeah, exactly. It's also not the fact only that they managed to get that first win here at Masters, it's the fact that they managed to mentally reset for what was happening on the server. I think that Eng was very right. FPX can shoot very hard. Like the rounds that Live was having, how they were just pushing onto them and doing this kind of things we were talking about before, how they thrive in the chaos. It is something that Casey had to overcome and did.
Yeah, they absolutely did. I think they looked really good in that second half with their game plan on how to shut down the aggression that even on the defense was being brought out by FPX. It's kind of hard to get that initial bit of space and punish people who have pushed up when you only have that Gecko, but I think they play around that one piece of utility, even though you can't combo it with another flash very well. For me, that second half was a showcase of just how strong Casey's fundamentals are.
Yeah, Mimi, let's take a look at round 18, because not many people can deal with K-Core's pressure, and unfortunately FPX couldn't do that either.
Yeah, not many, including FPX in this game, like you say. But this round was pretty cool for me, the way that KC are scaling together into this site, and also I think it's a showcase of how FPX's comp really does show some weakness. Running no Sendi on this map means that if you're hard
Look at where Magnum
to these rotates, which you kind of need to when you have this initiator comp where you're trying to set up those combos, you leave gaps like this, and Magnum was just taking advantage of this.
Yeah, exactly. And if you combine it with a narrate that was extremely explosive and just going in for the kills, he said that he wanted to pick when he got to Madrid, so he's definitely doing so. And I love that we have this stats for him. We were talking about the versatility, the feeling comfortable, and I think that this was a perfect showing for him.
It absolutely was. He said he was just gonna swing everyone at this event,
maybe,
and
fine.
you saw
take the fine. Take the fine.
He did swing in this one. I think that when KC is willing to, in the late rounds, take a little bit of that risk and let him go crazy when he's feeling it is really good and adds an extra dynamic to this team.
I mean, this is the thing. He does this on Gecko. He will do this on Fade, as we see him later. Which version of the narrate do you guys think is the final boss of the narrates?
I really like his Gecko.
I'm on the Gecko train, but I'm a big fan of
It's so hard
Gecko.
to play Gecko solo initiator.
Yes.
He does it so well.
Yeah, exactly. I think that he has a very good balance on how to support the team, how to go on those more aggressive plays, because he's the kind of player that can do it and will do it without shaking or having like second guesses. When we see him moving around the map and taking the right covers and making the right choices, everything is very well wired in his head. So I think that is why I like the Gecko, and also because he can just like
do it. You have to do the voice. Too good. Wait, also,
actually the voice actor.
I am
People don't
actually
know that.
Carnalito.
Yeah, can you please share that? Because I feel like it's a way better name than Wingman.
Carnalito, yeah. It's not even the Spanish one. It's in Latin America. They call it little boy Carnalito, and he's very cute.
Carnalito.
Carnalito.
I vote that we only call him that from now on.
I'm ready for it.
Carnalito! But we do have a narrate here, can you believe it, warming up in the AIM Lab shoot-around. I need his sense, I need his game sense, everything, you know the meme, how it goes, because he's able to perform EMEA on LAN, and it's great to see that Mimi, he's also able to perform on a global stage already as well.
He just had to get out of an A.
Oh!
He was good.
He was
when
getting
he was
held
in
back.
it.
He was getting held back.
It
by
was
NA.
actually. He is what your ranked teammates want to be, in that he needed the right team, right?
Yeah.
He can probably.
Honestly, he
fine.
needed Eng. I think that there is a
Yes.
lot of similarities between the case of Narrate and some other players in KC. And for example, Alpha Year. People might not remember, but there was this moment where Alpha Year was just 16, just picked up by Fnatic and just performing the way that he was because of the coach that he had. And probably in another environment, Alpha would not be where he is today. But going back to Narrate, love the fact that he's feeling this comfortable, that he has this sassy personality outside and inside the game, and he can bring it to the international stage.
He absolutely can. And we've talked a lot about the coaches today, but I think you have to credit the IGLing of this team as well. Magnum played with Fnatic right at the very beginning, famous for the ill-fated Sky Flash at the end of Reykjavik. But since then, he's been grinding down in Tier 2. He's a name that I think a lot of people had forgotten. But now he comes back in with this KC roster and is absolutely a pivotal part of this system they built. We saw some great adaptation and mid-rounding on that map, and I think you can credit a lot of that to this guy Magnum.
Yeah, this is the thing. People don't. People forget that he was never IGL before. He only started IGLing on this team. I also love a moment we had in EMEA where N called attack pause when they were like 11-1 up, and he did that a lot back in Gander. And we asked him, "You're 11 up. Why are you calling attack pause?" And he's like, "Look, I want us to close out the game, and I heard Magnum make a call, and it was just the wrong call. I had to step in and be like, Magnum, look, I appreciate what you're doing, but you should not be doing that. You should be doing this." And he also said that as time went on, he's had to do that a lot less. His trust in Magnum has grown a lot over the kickoff period. And given the fact, I don't think they called a single timeout, right? I don't think.
No, I mean, that's what Eng was saying.
Yeah, there we go.
Interview, right?
Yeah.
He was chilling.
If he's hearing the right thing,
Magnum must have been saying all of the right things.
many people might think, yeah, after you lose so many rounds in a row, why didn't you call a tech pause? Eng is hearing everything, and if he feels that the right calls are being made, and to every problem, they're already thinking of how to fix it for the next round, you don't really need to call that tech pause. Do you think that your team is going to be a little bit thrown off the game? You don't want to interfere too much? You think that first tech pause, attack pause was enough? Why do it again?
I think you also have to remember that those pauses also give your opponent a chance to talk to your coach. I think we've heard from like Mini before that sometimes he wouldn't call pauses because he trusts his IGL more than the opponent's IGL.
You're talking about Fnatic, guys.
You were
Why
going
are
to say you
doing
trust
this
the other
to me?
coach more. I thought you were going to say that.
No. But it is something to think about always, of like that trust in your IGL. Once you build it up, it means you can save those pauses for that perfect moment. And I mean, right now, I don't think that game ever fully got out of hand for KC. They started losing those 3-4 rounds in a row, but the last round, they turn it back around, they fix it, and then go into the second half quite strong.
Yeah, and he didn't need to talk to his players, but his players were giving it on the server. Take a look at this. There's some trash talk from the last
Guys, some smiles in your faces.
Hey, play the game, play the game.
So it's just Tomasi.
Tomasi,
It's
by the
just
way,
Tomasi.
another youngster. If you remember seeing him last year in Seoul, we had to do it. It was completely different, right? I think that the environment that they have created, how they're living everything on stage.
Tomasi over
So I watched some of the Carmen Core vlogs this
Did we
morning.
get
They're
some
excellent, by the way.
Mewin from Martin already? Not yet?
No.
It will be there.
I really thought we could go a long time without bringing that up here.
No.
Sorry,
I
I'm
thought
kind of
better of
disappointed
you.
we haven't seen it yet.
I'm
Yeah.
disappointed in both of you, but what I'm not disappointed in is what I was saying with Tamezi being such a great emotional leader. But we're into the agent select here already. Carmen Core, we saw them play the Fnatic comp and beat Fnatic. But for FPX, this is one of those maps where they pull out the chamber ban.
Yeah, exactly. Funny enough, even though KC has a very good record on this map, this has never been their choice. This is the first time that they actively choose this as their battleground. It was always like either the third map or something that other teams pick picked up for them in EMEA. Even with that, I think this is the map that shows perfectly and more exactly how good they are on the retakes and how the protocols are perfectly sharp, because of course with 3 sides things change, and they also change when you have a chamber on the other side. Not very popular in EMEA.
Absolutely. This comp, beyond just the chamber, has a solo Gecko initiator, which I think is a lot harder to make work on this map. If you go for hard execs, that Dizzy gets broken, which honestly, map 1 KC was doing a great job at. If they can continue to do that, I think they can really punish this dive player. This is an opportunity for KC to close in 2.
Yeah, well, things are going to get a little bit harder for FPX here. It will be KC's map choice, and it's time to send it back to your casters. Here's Bren and Sideshow.
Thank you very much, guys. Yeah, let's get to it then. Map number 2. In for Karmine Corp versus FPX. I mean, listen, map 1 was an interesting one, to say the least. I mean, very streaky in terms of the rounds with Karmine Corp. You got to expect, you know, these guys are phenomenal on Lotus. It's a map that they've taken, you know, many a strong team to. They look really primed in this map. They have a ton of great ideas. But now, you know, how are they going to be dealing with FPX, especially life on the chamber? This guy has been a standout in the past, and now he's going to be looking to do a little bit more. There's a smoke here. Horns. Dealt with, taken care of. TP back with a rendezvous, but, well, Lysol just trying to help out his teammate.
Yeah, bit of a strange decision, actually, because Life already had the exit with the rendezvous. Just looking to try to find a timing. Now they're headed into Magnum's setup, where the turret is going to take contact. And this Viper wall, previously used by teams like Loud on this map, going to allow KC a really nice C retake.
See from Magnum's setup here with the nano swarms. I mean, it's just to make sure they can't cross past the wall, buys time for the rotates. See here now, the spike's going to be planted. Nice shot onto the target. The fight into the back of the site. They're not clearing the corner. Half clearance still. Autumn snaps it back around again. They want to really just take the fight in a battle straight to them, FPX. And not messing around. Shin. So much to do. Doubled up, stacked up. They give him a freebie. 3 kills now. But a 1v2 and 17 health to do it.
Almost impossible. He doesn't have very much information about where the others are positioned. And Life, with the Sheriff just watching this smoke. Gonna put it down.
Yeah, with the double set up there, high, low, and Karmine Corp not quite ready there for the aggression, at least a second wave of things.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of looked like they were ready for the aggression, if anything. I mean, Narrate is tucked into the corner, has his pick, should have been able to pick off Autumn. Oh, that glance behind. And yeah, it's just the fact that Narrate isn't able to hit the go shots to be able to pick up a couple of them there in that split second. But certainly, I mean, to your point, FPX pushing so deep. They were taking a fight against Shin in Spawn, basically. And if that's the adaptation that they use, going from map 1 to map 2, to keep trying to fight Karmine Corp at all times, never allow them to set up for the retakes, I think that's a very good strategic idea.
Works well, it really does.
And you said as well earlier, Brent, that Karmine Corp have got a lot of experience on Lotus. They feel very comfortable there. The desk was talking about that too. But they've also played mostly against more meta compositions and relying on having a great understanding of how those work, the timings those take, the utility that they throw. They had very good specific anti-strats in EMEA too. This FPX team does not play conventional Valorant. No. And the composition shows that, but also the way that they run it shows that too. And it's going to be a little harder for KC to get a read on.
KC showed her hand, really, that the stack is over towards A, forcing the pivot now in towards B. Having to stop this. I saw back position, almost asleep at the wheel there. Needs to call for reinforcements and backup here to try and play this crossfire. Setup, Bulldog singing true, finding their marks. Very wide face, but the second shot of the Outlaw is enough to shut that one down. So should be very clean and clinical round here for FPX. Second one now for them.
And it's also close to getting Ayoung's ult online, so I would assume he's going to try the chase. Berlin snipes it, steals it for his first ult point. Don't worry, we don't need the Gecko ult anyway, I suppose, as we head into the bonus round. It would have been nice to have it online. Still possible, of course. Ayoung might get it for post-plant here, with something like an ult or pick-up and a plant. But KC, the war machine, starts to rumble. Tomashi picks up the Odin.
One enemy remaining.
This team as well, Karmine Corp. Warbang lineups. I mean, you're seeing FPX as well take a turn with it as well, initially in the prior round, but now we're getting started. trying to punish that peak. You can hear the shoulder just sticking out of life. He goes for another one.
Very bold, very confident. He was dominating in the individual fights when it came to Icebox, so I can respect that level of confidence. But KC, punishing him there. And despite the fact that there were 3 players from FPX defaulting over towards Mound at the beginning of the round, they don't actually have any control there. Double smokes, and Ayoung's Dizzy has had to be used twice already in the round just for Mound control. So they're still 10 seconds away from using that in any kind of push into C.
Shin smokes as well. I mean, they jut out just far enough to really put the fear into FPX, wondering if there could be a player lurking and creeping. The door is going to be hit there with a switch. Now a call is made. Paranoia, Dizzy, everything offloaded all together. Shin is really in dire straits. He needs some help from the rest of his team. Dodging and juking side to side. How does he get the 1 kill eventually? Falling. Backing away here. Narrate realizing he has to respect this one. Doesn't want to toss away his life. Wants to play for the full retake with the rest of his team now. Plant.
30 seconds left.
Actually denied there. That's a perfect placement of the nade, yeah. And a kill.
I mean, if anyone was going to go down, and I thought it would be Autumn on 30 health, but Lysol just tanks it. Maybe not hearing that in the moment.
Narrate, despite the fact that he's spamming down, trying to get a second bite of the apple, taking out all of it, leaves it to Berlin. He's just got so much working against him. Berlin, hello. Here's your time to shine, but Tomazic shuts that one down right quick. So bonus round conversion not there, but he made it a hell of an expensive round. I mean, listen, only 1 player surviving.
Yeah.
KC.
Absolutely. I mean, when Lysol goes down to the nade, it looks like KC are going to have their pick of that one. It's going to be an easy battle, but Berlin once again in a pretty similar manner to what he did in round 13 on Icebox.
30 seconds left.
Being able to get way more value from a position than you would expect from him. Makes it very damaging to KC's economy. So now, Calmin Core coming into the next round have a Bulldog and a Judge to work with. Martine is playing Judge Raze here at the front of B to start this round. FPX haven't been wandering close to B, but I wonder if they're going to try to set up some kind of trap here on Mound.
A chance of it.
Open the door, blast pack out, do something crazy with the Judge perhaps.
Yeah, I mean, Shin's position is playing really quite far forward there.
The problem is, the more space that you give them over towards A here, Brent, the more that you're going to allow Ayoung to get set up with the Thrash, push Magnum into uncomfortable positions, and get plants down on A. So this is, despite the fact there's a Killjoy and an Odin playing on the A site, this does look a little weak.
There it is now, Thrash clearing out towards tree. Magnum smart enough to give up the space. Be free gained now. Plan down for Berlin. Unconventional plant spot. Post plant doesn't allow you to play from stairs to really try and spam that one down. It's actually tucked to the corner. Heavy reliance on tree. See if that bites them here. Here's the initiation. The moves in with the Judge, eventually shutting down that threat. Martine can't get anything done, but Carmine Core still there with the rifles. Off to the side, Autumn inside the smoke. Narrate. Last player left standing. 1v2, maybe even second-guessing himself, wondering if he gets another one, could be played, but no, now making the smarter decision here, so saving a rifle, running away with it, so FPX up to a 3rd round.
Yeah, getting themselves into a really nice position. The thing that catches Carmine Core off guard there when they go for the retake are the unconventional swing timings from FPX. As soon as they hear the Paranoia double blast pack come out, FPX don't respect it, they swing into it. And that catches KC as they go to try to push off the back of the utility, taking gunfights at unfavorable timings. And you'll see here Berlin just manages to catch this one. And you also have Autumn coming out through the smoke. Perfect timing to try to catch Martine in the back.
Enemy remaining.
The damage that they did on the bonus, capitalizing there. And leading to a really nice beginning to this map from FPX.
That's fantastic. Keep this one going as well. Listen, generate the ultimates, keep using them to just snowball your way forwards. I think the more rounds as well that FPX get and start accruing is that question you brought up earlier, you know. Carmine Core, they've been playing against the Metacomps. How do you deal with something that's a little bit less standard, especially against a team that plays a little bit less standard too? You know, FPX, we've been seeing them play. I mean, they don't shy away from a lot of individualistic plays.
No, not at all.
Shin tucked to the corner. Will he be taken out? Yeah, and dealt with. Winning the showstopper there against the weaker buy.
Yeah, so expensive, but starting to build up to, you know, a Viper's Pit for the next as well. So the ult cycle is still not in a terrible situation, even though they felt it necessary to invest that. They're in a great spot to be able to close this one out too. The weaponry is not great on anyone other than Nare.
Oh, all the players down for the double face. Autumn, 3 in a round, might be looking for another one. There it is, the 4th, so...
With the classic of all things too.
Steadily building his way back up to his own ult that he just expended. 4-1 here, FPX might be starting to run away with it. Important round coming up now. Take a look at the economy. Karmine Corp be able to get some of those rifles online, but they don't have any big ultimates of their own, really. Yeah, I mean, okay, Martini's 1 away. Maybe if he gets a kill, get the showstopper too, but it's imperative, really, that they put a stop to FPX here.
Especially if Lyso starts getting into position to pit on the site. Because we saw that on Icebox, that the pits and the more aggressive post-line positions really messed with KC in the way that they wanted to approach things.
Early fight, here my life. Doesn't expect that Shin has already crossed one way, might just see the feet.
Not quite catching it.
Yeah, not quite.
Oh, has he got a glimmer of it there, perhaps? I don't think so. The boombot used from Autumn close to B main as Life forced to teleport away. Autumn has not quite cleared Thomas yet.
Yeah, it was broken. It gave the indicator. It gave the indicator for Autumn.
Great movement to be able to escape.
Really heads up as well. Knowing that the boombot was cleared, he's expecting it. He's like, okay, potential there, behind the box tucked. First kill for them, so 50 seconds now. Making the moves over towards the A site. Magnum is here, ready and waiting with the setup. That's the nanostorm still. Paranoia goes wide. He's holding an off angle. This is really quite aggressive. And Autumn just offsets the movement ever so slightly enough. Flank around Shin. They weren't expecting that one with the TP, but he's only one man. What can he do? Paranoia glides TP in face.
No way.
No way. No way. Shin. That's monstrous. And Life, he's nowhere near. Sticking this one through. Where's the defuse bar? Not a clue. Still half on it. Live. Puts him to bed. Puts him to rest.
What a kill to end that! And what a play from Karmine Corp. An attempt to try to set that up. And timeout called. That was an enormous investment. I mean, the play that they went for there, Nightfall into the OMEN ult. They had no idea that Shin was all the way back there. They had no audio cues. Paranoia, so they have no audio cue on this either. Shin was set up for success. And Life shut it down.
I said at the beginning of the round, that was a pivotal one. Economy going to be reset here for Karmine Corp. Instant timeout called.
Yeah, this is now serious danger. KC unveiling one of their big ideas for how to go for a retake there, or at least to put pressure onto FPX as they were going for the plant. Using a really nice ult combo, still gets stuffed. And Autumn is currently sat 12-3, up at the top of the scoreboard for FPX. Finding so many good timings. His awareness in that round to be able to pick off Tomaji early on. In the previous round, to be able to catch Martin as he went for the double blast pack retake on A. Autumn has been playing wonderfully here.
Pride of OCE. Stepping up here onto the big stage.
And so many conversations about, you know, what do the communications look like within FPX? Because Autumn isn't super comfortable with only speaking Chinese inside the team, so they're having to do a lot in English too. Is it worth it? Well, if he plays like this, it is.
Yeah, it definitely is.
And Life, who was at the top of the scoreboard on Reyna, is still 6-1, barely been punished. Only that one time where he overstayed his welcome slightly on A.
Double control given up, FPX happy to do so. Autumn also one away from his ult.
Yeah, and look at how that round is about to spiral the ult economy out of control for FPX. This ult cycle is getting monstrous.
Magnum tucked here, has the stinger. Too much util, still finds the kill. Just taking the timing as well, knowing they were going to explode into the side, and he backs away, so... Toss away his life for no reason. Plant.
This is going to be difficult, though, for Karmine Corp, because they're going to come back into this against potentially big ultimates, if Autumn or Lysor are able to get a pick. There are huge ults on the other side. It might have been a good idea to try to stack one of them, the plant.
Yeah, potentially, because Martin's now going to be coming back in. Nade, rebounding, snake by ults, offloaded. Thomasy, what a shot, what a shot indeed! The players are toppling here, the rifles matter not. Karmine Corp on display, showing exactly what makes them that #1 seed from EMEA.
And just a bit too passive from FPX.
Thrifty.
Resting on their laurels, not remembering the game plan that they had coming in. And that's our second Mastercard Thrifty of the series, I believe. But from what we'd seen earlier on, when Karmine Corp were fighting aggressive post plants deep into spawn to this, like almost the most passive way that you could play this situation, not loading the plant into Lysor or Autumn, where you would have a big ultimate to be able to work with. Bit of a misplay, but like I said, the ult cycle is demonic right now for FPX.
Everything online.
They have literally everything, yeah.
It's a rubble fight, not being contested early by FPX, they want nothing to do with it. KC not even really using too much util of their own. Stalemate just to start things off. Knife with the tour de force. Hoping that he can contact in. There's a slight gap into the smoke. He was praying that Magnum potentially cross into the sideline.
And Magnum is just holding angles where he would be able to catch people, you know, blast packing in with an ultimate. He's looking to try to catch Autumn in a very non-committed place, Magnum. But one where he can just catch headshot sightlines.
ISM flying out towards B. Narrate's going to be calming this. Still
not a full commitment though at all, is it?
No.
It's just supposed to feel fakey.
All over the place here, but really there's not too much behind it. Still, okay, Prowler, peek, Martin, what? A shot, the quick scope of life. Shuts that one down, now the showstopper. All laid out on top of it.
Left.
Magnum, he's out of there, vacates it, wants nothing to do with it. Side control going to be gained for them. Fight's being lost all over the place here with Thomasy losing that one. Paranoia swinging through, a little bit delayed here, but FPX are the ones that are coming out on top. Kill feed, filling up with red, and that's all they're seeing right now, hunting for the kills. Magnum, lovely shot with the discipline. Shin, resetting the aim just enough, 1v2. Does he still choose to make a go of this?
He's worried about those aggressive timings that FPX like to take. Fear in his heart, causing this to be a retake. Sorry, a save. Meaning that KC are in a hole right now, and in a whole lot of trouble. FPX still with some big ultimates that they didn't feel incentivized to use there. We were watching that fight happening over towards the defender's side spawn. Actually, the big deaths happened in Waterfall.
Yeah.
Those are kills that I think either happened over the top of or through a smoke, and obviously that first pick is massive. But yeah, just as that smoke was about to bloom, it's a one-way actually from Berlin. That's so nice.
Interesting ideas.
Lovely idea. And not something that KC was set up to deal with. It is an attack-sided map from everything that we've seen, but FPX here are looking so much more successful than they did on Icebox.
Cover going out.
One ways exchanged, Berlin. Looks like he could be playing into a deeper angle, potentially even inside the one way, but...
FPX previously, when they had Ayoung's ult online, did end A. They expected it to only be one player there. It was Magnum with an Odin. And now Ayoung looking to make his way towards A again. But Berlin with the spike on B. So there's a serious potential that this becomes an A fake with the Gecko ult into a B pivot. That's going to be challenging for KC to deal with.
It depends on the success of these A players. Berlin does have the ult tucked away to reposition to A if they are going to find a kill, but no. All broken wide. Paranoia Was sent flying a bit prior here, and they've put players into 4 positions with Lysor be attempting the backstab.
Weird though, because that means no pit available on site.
Lockdown. Close forwards here with a Thrash. They want to seek to try and fight this one. Really far back positions. Can they deal with it? Magnum nails it with a detainment. That's 2 players there. They can't actually enter the fight, but really, they've done the damage here with the bodies. Nothing to break this lockdown whatsoever. Life was being pressured onto that position. Once more detainments across the board. Narrate sticking forwards here. Sees half on the board. Magnum really just seeking to delay. He's got his teammates back. Ayak forcing out the wingman. Horn drops down, rebounds half on it. Really needs to swing wide. Magnum needs to shut it down. Not even necessary. It's Carmen Core with the win in that round. Give themselves that 3rd one.
Really important round for KC to be able to get on the board. But I like the ideas actually from both teams. Sure, we didn't see the pit on the site, but we did see them save that Thrash for a post-plant situation to try to challenge the lockdown. Unfortunately, the fights just simply didn't go their way. Magnum being able to pick up both of them in that situation is just enormous. If he hadn't picked up both, there's a great chance that FPX are able to push forwards, get the kills, break the lockdown, and it's a round done and dusted.
A lot of aggression out towards A-Rubble now. Well, okay. Deep Horn just tagging up there onto Lysor. Couldn't stand his ground there, and even Life Traded taking out Paranoia to set that one up, jumping up into their face. Shots going wide. It's the weaker weapon, so it should just be an easy job finishing them up.
1 enemy remaining.
Strenuous. There's a rifle gained here for Berlin.
He doesn't have the spike.
No, he was hoping to just TP himself out of there and doesn't win the fight out. So, real rapid one. Round 10.
But now FPX rifles back on board. And this is where the ult cycle has declined a little bit here for the attack side team. But they haven't really been able to find use out of this pit. It's been the one big ultimate, actually, that they haven't used at any point. They're going to take a timeout here, discuss what the round game plan should be. I feel like the game plans have been good from FPX.
Yeah.
Generally speaking, apart from that one round, was it round 7, I believe, where they just played a little too passively. For the rest of it, they've been up, aggressive in Carmen Core's faces, forcing the duels, utilizing nice pieces of utility like the one-way on C, the Thrash to push the lockdown over towards B as well.
Really proactive calls being made by an FPX team that, honestly, I thought were going to be riddled with these communication issues, you know, having to really translate twice, you know, Berlin having to talk and describe these game plans throughout. It led to the macro game of FPX looking a bit weak. I mean, Magnum pointed it out. We've said it many times now over the course of the series. But that hasn't really been the case. I mean, they have been rapid in terms of the way they've been pressing the issue, forcing KC to react to them. And it's been by hair's breadth, really, in terms of KC being able to win some of these rounds out. Maybe they can even it out. Maybe they can make it 6-6 here. Timeout is being taken by FPX because they're feeling that struggle now to hold on and maintain this lead that they've gained.
KC have also, I think, found it a little difficult to tell exactly where FPX have been moving around the map. Because they're playing quite far back. I mean, they're pushed forward in like B main at the beginning of the rounds, that kind of thing. But generally speaking, Carmen Core are taking a more passive approach to the defense, relying on those good retakes. And that's giving FPX a lot to work with. Here we see KC start the round with 3, ready to play around A-Rubble. A very classic setup here on the defense.
Just a one-way used. Berlin hoping they hear the sound cue of that one. Viper's Pit dropped down in through C.
And Narrate actually saved all of his Fade utility. Didn't throw any for the Rubble fight at the beginning of the round. They're not worried about that area of the map. KC have maintained control of it at the start. And now you can see both teams saving a lot of their utility. They're expecting KC to play passive, and they're also not really fighting Rubble, so both teams coming into the mid-round here with tons to work with.
Just conserving everything. A lot of contact plays online. Re-clearance of Rubble is called. Snakebite and a nade combo is excellent, but no players ready to receive. Still, it gives them the space. Haunt really actually catching on to a few of these players. They're lucky to be alive, backing away. Meanwhile, out through B, that's a trade from Ayang, and even more so.
Oh, that's wild.
He's ripped away Narrate's head.
And he's just swinging through an Anaswarm there as well. He's opened the round up so wide for FPX. Looking to try to get another, and he does. Aang's been such a beast in this series so far.
Hit drop down. Berlin's watching for it. You can hear it, the rumbling of the footsteps. That is 7-2-4. You're exactly right, Josh. I mean, Aang could be the difference maker.
Like I said, Nurek didn't use a Prowler, a Seize, a Haunt, whatever, at the start of the round. But he did Prowler B main, and he found out that there was a Lurker there. But he thought it was only one. Magnum is about to pull out his turret after killing Life there, because they are so convinced there would only be one B Lurker. They're getting caught off guard by the unconventional way that FPX are playing, and it creates moments like that, where KC have an assumption that is wrong, and it bites them in the ass.
Money is just absolute bargain bin purchases for Carmen Court. Working with scraps to the final round of the first half. It's led to them to make the decision, really, to just give up C. I mean, they went aggressive towards B main early, hoping that they could maybe get a favored fight, taking it with the numbers that they've got. But for now, space given and granted for FPX out towards C mound.
And Aang picks up his ultimate. So FPX really happy to work the map. And this is looking like another one where they fake it. Bit of a feint over towards C. Now opening the door, putting pressure on Magnum here.
Pulls out our trap play setup, this wall tucked behind it. Magnum, maybe he could do something about it. Nightfall here, forward sound cues, missing, taken away. Plan still online for it. No, he's just spotted. Everybody watching towards the wall, but that is a nasty shot by Tomazi. And through main, would have blocked that angle up. Actually, might just be through the smoke here. Oh, sound cues, Life is really just going to rely on his aim. Smoke finally blooms and blossoms to cut off these available players, but guess what? That flank of Lysor is coming in right from the side. Tomazi sticking, half already, has to get off of it, has to get the kills, but not expecting it. The full wrap around and an 8-4 finish for this opening half.
Very nice ending there from FPX. Good way of adding extra layers into that. And a very competent attack side on a map where KC have been very dominant in EMEA. It's an attack-sided map in general, so don't count out the European squad from being able to make a comeback happen. But the pressure is now firmly on them.
I'll send it down to the analyst desk to break it down.
Thank you very much, guys. It is a great half and a nice start from FPX here. But let's take a look at a Verizon high-speed moment of the match, because this one goes to Shin. And what a play this was, Mimi.
Yeah, it was impressive, right? But this round started off so good for FPX. They got a huge advantage. And then Shin, I mean, just incredible instincts to get behind instantly on this TP and almost win it. But he did lose the round in the end. And that's the story of this half. It is FPX up 8-4. And for me, this was a very different FPX from map 1. It wasn't defined by Life going crazy, by these super aggressive pushes in the late round. It was instead them playing really good fundamentals. Starting off the 1-3-1, pressuring the extremities, and then late rounds, making really good reads and actually out-calling Magnum to get ahead.
Yeah, I think they out-mentaled the plan that K-Corp originally had for this map. If we look at the Viper wall that they were using from the attack, it differs completely from what we see in EMEA. We were talking about the Odin, Tomazi going crazy on that. It doesn't hold a lot of value if that position is not going to be held by them.
But this does get risky in the second half. This map, as the casters were highlighting, it's a lot harder to defend on, even with FPX having this lead. And I think on this defensive side as well, this is where we really get to see what this team is made of. They have to be on top of these rotations, because Karmine Corp is a team who's really good at selling these little fakes, at playing into the right site in the mid round, and then having super strong post plants.
Yeah, it is a healthy lead, but a pistol could change everything as we head back into the second half. With your casters, it's Brandon Seischer.
So for Carmen Core, I mean, backs against the wall with this one. Hefty lead for FPX. Look, keep it going with the pistol.
Look at this pistol round buy. It's really interesting, actually. We've got 3 players with Sheriffs online. Shin on attack side Omen has bought 1 smoke and a teleport. So he's clearly planning to get value out of that as part of their pistol strategy. But if they're going to end B here, that means that they're only going to have 1 smoke. They're going to fight Heaven aggressive with the Viper wall.
Oh, again, trying to disrupt this one, FPX. cracked open the wall out towards C, trying to double face this one, but they've gotten deep into heaven. Karmine Corp. There's the second protocol, just leaping, boundless, man. Jumping straight into the face of Ayang, and he can't withstand that kind of pressure. Into Link now, Paranoia. Sent flying, corners cleared, making sure they're there with the diligence. Nade rebounding, but Magnum holding down the ground, forwards. It's the approach, but again, there's just nothing to deal with this guy. He's just rattling off shots. Left, right, and center, straight from main. Finally smoked off. Berlin defusing. Half, sticking, hello, gets off of it, but now damage is done. Snakebite tap, they've got to realize this now, surely, with the time cues, but they all collapse in time. Karmine Corp, the pistol round win.
I thought there was a little bit of danger there. Turns out, Tomaji, he had his orb and a snakebite on the plan. So not too much danger. Berlin was maxed out at only being able to get half on the spike. This is the play, though, that really wins them the round. They're not just fighting heaven aggressively with the Viper wall. They're planning to swing through their own Viper wall to be able to hard clear out anybody that was looking to try to play retake in that area. Great pistol round strategy. Well cooked up by KC. Gives them a chance.
A lot of util going to be expended here by KC. Some control towards a rubble, but a stack of 4 players are going to be meeting them pound for pound. Yes, they don't have the weapons, but they do have the util. And look at that, Dizzy connection. Which way is the fight going to go? Paranoia blinded up. FPX could have gone in any direction, but eventually it's the Bulldogs that carried them through it.
Yeah, after that initial wave of utility, got the first 2 kills for FPX. They just couldn't quite hold on. As soon as the KC players could see, they shot back.
Last player standing.
And Life tries to make the play there, shut down. All down to Berlin. We've seen some outrageous situations from Berlin so far in this series. He's managed to pick up a Bulldog. But I think this would just be a little too much. He's gonna need a freebie.
Karmine Corp haven't really been offering too many of them. There's an option, though. Magnum's just jiggling the corner out towards Link. Berlin making sure to clear everything before he starts the approach now. 1 smoke, 2 smokes. Freshly rejuvenated.
He's found a timing past Magnum, but he's set up a crossfire. This triple setup is so strong.
You just don't win it. There's too much to account for. Too much to account for. So, 3 players surviving here for Karmine Corp. 3 rifles to carry into the bonus.
The Bermuda Triangle post-plant setup, you ain't getting out of that one.
No, you can't do it. Can't do it.
So yeah, this is going to be a fairly potent bonus round, but not the most that we've seen. There was a little bit of damage there. Also, something to keep in mind, Autumn was 12-3 to begin this map. So you look at where he is on the scoreboard right now, he hasn't been doing too much since that absolutely electric beginning.
Bit of a struggle.
In order for FPX to be able to close this out and take their 2nd map ever at a global event, you're going to need big players like Autumn or Life to really make sure that they can close this one out.
Berlin trying to make the most of the Odin spam. Well, that util was used just to set Shin up into a forward position through rubble. Now the 2nd wave is going to be used early on here. I mean, talking a minute 20. Now, Karmine Corp could look to try and go all the way back over towards A. Berlin. He's going to get pushed out into the open. He's going to get pushed out into the open!
I mean, the Berlin moments.
Oh my! Berlin, what are you doing?
They are wild.
Oh no, I can feel it, the danger zone. And it's there. FPX now forced to try and do a lot more. Ayang out wide into the open. Lysor, he's found his straggler up onto the opposite side of the map, but really the damage is done. Life has to make a go of it. Wall fades, no one accounting for it. Spike drop down, he's brought this into a 2 versus 2. Definite chances here for him.
Serious opportunity for FPX to be able to recover this. Oh, that's a ton of damage onto Life, though. The Odin spam perfect, but he might have distracted for Lysor to find a timing.
What happened to backside? Shinny's just on top of the ropes, man.
That's a bonkers play to go for.
This post plant now gets so much more difficult. Lysor, how do you cut up these angles? How do you find the right fights? How do you isolate them? He's not even clearing Shin. Tucked up there, and there was a player ready to swing. Him and Tomazi, dynamic duo.
Should have been more dangerous than that, actually, for Karmine Corp. Shin somehow manages to make that one look easy by pushing with an Odin into heaven. But it's the player on the other side. It's Shin's opposite, Berlin, who just threw the round away so early on. This is an anti-bonus. You have an economy advantage to clear the round out, and he just wanders out through the rotating door. It's the kind of play that you should never be going for. And I think he just got completely lost with what was occurring there. Didn't think that KC were committed to rubble whatsoever. And we've seen a few moments from him throughout this series. He's matched the big round-winning plays with those kind of moments where he loses the plot a little bit.
Certainly has. Interesting play by FPX here on their half-bar eco, whatever you want to call it. They throw a ton of utility at a rubble, and they over-rotate immediately, so they have the stack. They're trying to force Karmacore right into them. They're going to get their wish granted. Martin can't see anything yet with the Phantom in his hands, making short work at him. Wide face, driving by. One player left standing, it's Autumn. Feels his position. Earns a kill because of it.
Spike planted.
Really should not be any more danger in this.
No, with the stack dodged, KC should be able to rely on their discipline to get them through this one. No problem. The time's an issue. Autumn's been stuffed into a corner. Has no idea that these two players are so close.
He's getting bullied. Lunch money taken here. The high-low setup. Very little chance and opportunity. And so 8-8.
And not only 8-8, Brent, Karmacore now actually favored in my opinion, because I talked about it on the attack side for FPX. The ult cycle is just monstrous. Look at what they're starting to get up to. Nightfall, Lockdown, available. Those are going to start to build up. The Pit and the Showstopper. This composition has so many tools to be able to chain stuff together on the attack side.
One enemy remaining.
Go, guys. Nice.
And this now might be a little too late for FPX. They had their opportunities early on in this half to make it dangerous for KC. Round 15, round 16, getting that stack that you called out too, and yet weren't able to convert on them. Now they need some hero plays. Because if you just look at things, all things being even, an attack side map where KC is starting to get big ults online, with the quality of this team, FPX should be in the squeeze right now. So they are going to need somebody to step up.
That's why the timeout's called. Honestly, maybe just reining Berlin in a little bit might help. It hasn't been costing him too much, just that one round that just sticks out in my mind, of course, when he donated over the Odin.
Yeah, but the thing is, if you have those round losing plays in big situations, they're actually worse than the round winning plays that you get in some other spots. And when we think back to Icebox, one of the worst parts for FPX was that they were only winning 43% of the time when they were up a player, when they were 5v4, when they got the first pick.
I mean, speaks volumes, I think, about Karmacore's ability to turn situations like that, but also for FPX, I mean, that is...
They were tossing some of those situations.
It's pretty dire, isn't it, not being able to convert.
With things like going for those mid-round reclears and trying to take possession of the round even though you were up players. It's a very risk-positive play style that FPX have, but they can bite them. This is where you gotta try to take the risks, though, I think. You can't just sit back and allow KC's ults to come at you.
Nightfall, whole cacophony of util, used to try and clear out towards the C site. Shin's ult just being offloaded here, so...
Yeah. Looking to try and put pressure on anybody who might be anchoring into the site. They would have been deafened. Shin might have been able to get huge value out of an ultimate there. But they're not overstepping themselves and overreaching. FPX are now going to be in a retake with life, opping, no ults to work with.
And this lockdown. Precise time to be used here. Ults, util, paranoia, but it really doesn't do enough damage to clear this one out. So FPX forced to run away, tail between their legs.
Yeah, the mosh, the nade, none of it finding value.
Time now becoming an issue. Here comes the approach. Satchel's in, Dizzy's there, but Wingman follows it up, stunned up. Well, cosmetic in nature. FPX still all here now. Shin, last one left. Having a defuse. Oh, they're watching for it. They knew he was there. Barely enough with the time.
And what a retake from FPX. They hit the commit button and they won all of the aim duels. And they'd already used such big pieces of utility too.
How did they win now when they're retaking with an off?
It's wild. I mean, look, no paranoia, no nade, no mosh. just being able to win the raw fights, particularly those kills against Martin and Tomasz there, being massive difference makers. Head in hands for Zeish. That was a round that KC were expected to win and did not. Big ultimates used too. It's broken their ult cycle.
What a time to do it for FPX. Same opening for Carmine Corp. Out towards C now. Lysor. That is the snake bot going to be using. Wow, okay, just spamming straight through. That's one way to clear the pit. If he didn't get it, at least Martin with a showstopper might have.
And I say broken the ult cycle, but Martin being able to enter the showstopper, and Tomasz being able to get the pit online as well. They're fighting tooth and nail for this. Making sure that they don't get pushed into an uncomfortable spot.
Real uncomfortable though is the retake. How do you choose to take this one? The pit blocking off all the avenues out towards Waterfall. Thrash might be the answer here for Ayang. Berlin can't work his way through that one way. A lot of util being used to try and push them back, but look at how difficult this is. I mean, you're just clearing one section of the ult. Detained. Did catch, I believe, the one. Clearing through. Need the guns, at least with the fight. It's Magnum. Just dominating that one angle. Looks to really just step towards them now when he spots the final few players, and Berlin's out of there.
Oh, what a response from Carmine Corp. Kept it simple, used the ultimates, got themselves a round win. And that builds up the economic safety net that they have.
Yeah.
But now it's 9-9 with all of the big ultimates starting to try, favor FPX. You know, it's going to be a while before Carmine Corp have those to rely on to be able to string a round together like that. It does feel like Lotus is very based on what ults you have online. FPX, economy disadvantage. But it might not feel like that if you end up running into life. KC just looking like they want to focus on mount control into the C hit.
It's the same hit over and over again. The deep smoke that Shin places down, everybody plays inside of it to dodge any attempt of a flash repeat.
And this feels like they're just punishing the lack of the killjoy on the other side.
Yeah.
They're not worried about running into life.
They're scrimming, man. Practicing the C execs.
Very much so.
Autumn does have his ult. Needs to stay alive though. If he wants to use it in this, any chance of it, a tap from the rate. With the spike, they are trying to force out at least some util, maybe the ult out of them. Now sticking and committing into it. Ground setup. Backing them away with the rifles here. Carmine Corp. It is quite passive position, just giving up basically the back section of the site.
Does Autumn choose to ult? Down 4v5.
Would be a crazy one. That's essentially a solo swing there from Lysor. Not really set up for it. Life onto the flank. Lambot notifying the team of his position. There's not too many more pieces left for FPX to do anything about it.
And these last two rounds have been just what the doctor ordered for KC. It was looking on a nice edge that it could spiral out of control, and instead they've kept it so clean, only that one round going the way of FPX. And at this point, FPX are going to have to try to come up with a different way of holding on to C. You look at how Carmine Corp are taking mount control at the start of the round. Shin throws a smoke, they get a teleport into the smoke, they have double faces in case anybody's playing aggressive. They can use Fade utility there as well, Prowler when they get in. It's all very rigorous. Look, there's the smoke that you can see. Martin's inside of it instantly. They can swing out this in a variety of directions, avoid any dizzy. If there's a paranoia, they can hide inside the smoke. You know, creates that little safe beacon, safe haven for them to play around. But they haven't neutralized the danger on the opposite side of the map.
No, looking for a re-clear here, but it's a high-low setup. Safety, at least for some of the players. Nanastorm got to respect that one. Berlin dropping down. Nightfall now being used to clear. In the midst of all of this chaos, Berlin, man, he was setting up another one-way smoke. Still with the rifle traded. Shin rips that one away from him. 50 seconds left. Quite efficient on the attack side around here for Carmine Corp. Plenty of time left if they want to take a pivot.
But the problem is, the more the time ticks, the more Autumn's ultimate becomes a game changer. You do not want to get in a situation where you're trying to exec with only 25 seconds left and there's a showstopper on the other side. KC hoping that any stack over towards C would have been dismantled at this point because of all of that rubble pressure.
Feels like they're going to be pivoting into a B, A to B almost, with them opening the door up, but
high-low.
Set everybody out towards C, and the players, they're running away, but they hear it jumping around. Autumn, it's popped up the old high-low setup, not expecting it. The rate's already there. Dizzy avoided, but no, just catching onto him. 15 seconds left, has to deal with this player. He's got the spike in his hands, no teammates, nowhere near at all. He's got to try and force his fight out, and the Ray wins it.
There's
8 seconds. He's got to get this plant down. And it's being covered, surely no spam, he does. An extension into the round.
Monstrous from the Ray. He's 22 and 11 in the map so far and trying to win this round almost on his own, waiting for the cavalry to arrive.
Horn spotting it, avoiding it. The bullets hailing down onto it, but his head just peeking out and over. No, Ray can't be stopped, man.
It's just disgusting. The Des was talking about, do you like his Gecko more? Do you like his fade? Naray is out here dumpstering people.
No matter what he plays.
Playing like this flex initiator role. Sometimes we'll see him on Duelist, and you can see why when you look at this guy's talent.
That makes 3.
So many duels here that weren't favored, where it looked like an FPX player had caught him.
Ooh, Marshall. Marshall, can you look at me for a second? Oh my god.
Yeah, Shin's happy about that one.
This time Karmikor setting the sights over towards A.
And the push out C from FPX, they knew they had to change something up. And now Magnum's got the read on it. All right, so they were aggressive on C, let's try and push it into A fast.
What is that? Spam through, catch onto Berlin. Didn't stand a chance there. They catch the C push yet. Magnum is watching for it, knowing that.
Another duel, though, where Lysol could have found the timing. And instead, the Karmikor player comes out on top, readjusting the aim.
It's fallen to pieces. Ayang makes a good go of it there. Rips away 2 of them, but not enough to withstand the pressure for the players there. Now a deep push from Live. He's the last one left. Hold up, rotations, players. It's a timing game. It's a timing game. Shin's seen the barrel. He's seen the barrel, and he takes care of him. 12 rounds. Now game for Karmikor. 1 step closer to taking the series entirely.
An 8-4 half. And as soon as KC get onto the attack side, navigating danger, putting together some excellent rounds. Chaining ults, punishing the C defense. Reacting correctly too. And a reminder, yeah, we thought that this would be one of the least even matchups on paper. FPX came into this one hoping to be able to get at least a map, maybe a match win, show the global stage that they were capable of so much more than they've done in the past. Now they're 1 round away from getting knocked into the bottom portion of our Swiss stage.
Face your fear!
9-4, suspended once more. Prowler connecting, Magnum holding, watching. What is that by Autumn?
Those are amazing.
Hell of a time to come alive. His team definitely needed it, and the kills are just being collapsed upon. Shin has got his ult, picks up the spike, repositions now, but guess what? Berlin might be 1 step ahead. He's running his way back over towards A, anticipating this kind of reaction. A plant, though, won't be pushed back. So Shin has a chance to close the case entirely. 1v2, Ayang has the ult, a lot of util. Shin reveals his position, Thrash. No bunny hops online, wide swing and face there. Paranoia repositions out wide to the side. Shot connects, snaps to it. Shin will not find it. FPX alive for now in the map, as Ayang is the one to do it.
What a recovery in that round for FPX to find 4 kills off the back of Guardians. 2 players, the 2 star players, Autumn and Light, just being able to pop. Those initial kills though, Autumn, again, I keep wanting to mention, he was 12-3 at the beginning of this map. He's still only got 17 kills. If he can wake up, FPX can still bring this to overtime. The big, heavy hitting firepower from FPX has got to come online now when they need it most. Otherwise, KC are going to win this series.
First time we're seeing a bit of aggression on the defensive side here from Life. Horns dealt with, smoke forward, so many positions to look for here, but a boombot now, look at the levels to it, the layers to it. Boom, but Prowley, you have to respect it. Rendezvous back now, and here comes the C hit. Pressure there. Martin. Vulnerable up. There was a nanoswarm at his feet, but now there's a snake bite to try and respond, and a flood defense by FPX is caught. Dizzy missing wide, facing Lysor. Scott is 2 there. Narrate is eager to take the challenge straight to them. He's eager to put an end to the entirety of this series, but a spike has been dropped into the middle of nowhere.
That's the big problem now. Extraction is the name of the game. KC, Magnum's trying to cause some chaos, see if he can pull people away from the C site, threaten some kind of wild lurk, but would they really push through Waterfall here to retrieve the spike? Or is it all a fake?
Subterfuge being thrown into the mix. There's a Haunt to clear the way, but Berlin is back up onto the space, into the angle, an essential kill, but it goes missing. And now Waterfall control is theirs. Autumn is there with a crosshair placement. And White now have to deal with these players. Carmine Core! It's all down to 1v1. And this is it. Again, continuation of the series, or will it be that slam at dunk? Tomasi wraps it around, 20 seconds left. Spike still not retrieved. Tomasi! He finishes the job on their feet before you know it. And it's a 2-0 wrap to the series for Carmine Core in their opening batch of Madrid.
That's a great way to get the nerves settled early and showcase that you can do it on the biggest stage. The global Masters stage. These players with such small amounts of experience, but such a great system behind them. And passionate fans that are hoping they can go so much further. FPX certainly pushed them, but no map win for the Chinese squad, who still only have 1 so far in these 3 global showings. They'll have more chances. The Swiss system gives them future opportunities as well, though they have no idea who they'll be facing next. You could say that about both of these teams, though, because to be honest, when you look at the other matches that you've got coming up, it is difficult to predict who the favorites are. And just to revisit that topic, Brent, we were saying at the start this should have been on paper one of the most one-sided matches you could get, and yet we had a 13-8 where things looked very close. We had it wrapped up at 7-7, and then a 13-10 on KC's map pick. Parity may well be the key word here at Madrid.
FPX definitely bringing it and testing at Carmine Core, but they come out strong. It's a 2-0 actually in terms of that map scoreline as well. And like you said, I mean, a series of unknowns leading into it. They don't know who their next opponent is going to be. It's up in the air. They're going to be paying close attention to these upcoming matches, including the one that we got coming up even next. That one is going to be a certified banger, man. I mean, Genji versus Loud, who knows which direction that one's going to go.
It's impossible to call. KC are going to be so happy, though, that they got that win under their belt early. It's going to give them the opportunity to watch these other games that are happening. They're a team that loves to prep, loves to practice. They were talking about the fact that it's been difficult to get that level of prac under their belts here, so that's a great start to the tournament.
Absolutely. Well, that's us finished. We'll send it down to the analyst desk to break it all down so far.
Thank you very much, guys. I'm joined by Mimi once again. What a fantastic win and stuff. But it is for K-Corp, of course. For majority of these players, Mimi, they've never even played on a global stage before, and they just 2-0'd FPX.
Yeah, I mean, even like in EMEA, there's a lot of the big matches they were playing. That finals against Heretics was online because the player wasn't there. For them, this match, I think, meant a ton to really get acquainted to that stage, to a bigger crowd, to a new environment. It's a lot of new stuff for these players, and honestly, I think they came out swinging. People can critique that it wasn't the stomp a lot of people predicted, but I think that was people underrating FPX. Like Eng said in that first halftime interview, this team has shooters. They'll catch you off guard. I think they're a real kind of test team that pushes you just enough if you're one of those top squads to be worrying, but it's about how you bounce back, and they absolutely did.
Yeah, I was getting a little bit worried there towards the end. Honestly, I felt like FPX, they might have been able to push them all the way to overtime, but the fact that KC actually closed it out, Mimi, especially for, you know, a player like Madam, who everybody used to harp on him for not being able to close games out, for being a bit shaky in those moments. I think I'm getting on the KC train really early.
Are you bringing back like the
really
2021 fraudnatic narrative about Magnum?
But I'm saying that that's no more, right? This is a new look, and I mean, we were watching the games. You were telling me, Nare, MVP of the tournament already? Early shout?
I'm kind of feeling it. I mean, reactionary Randall, but this guy just came out and absolutely impressed. The second half especially, I think they had a great read. They realized there's not a lot of soul in this comp. They just kept pounding this C site. And for me, honestly, when you see this team go for an exec, they commit so perfectly around the utility. Just really clean stuff here from Carmine Core to kick off Madrid.
Yeah, and speaking of Nare, he's standing by with Kakuka. in the Verizon post-match interview.
Bienvenidos a todos a la primera entrevista después de haber ganado Casey este primer partido aquí en Masters Madrid. I'm here joined with Narrate. So first of all, congratulations on the first win of Madrid. How are you feeling?
Thank you. I'm feeling pretty good.
Okay. Let's try, okay?
Yeah.
Let's celebrate, why not?
Buy the KC bundle.
Thank you very much, guys. I mean, the crowd has been amazing, so thank you very much. Now back into the interview and the actual questions. First of all, how do you think this team has been different from everything that you've seen in EMEA? How the preparation has been different to, adapting to a Chinese team?
Well, obviously we have, like same thing with every team in this competition, we have a lot of info on them. So it's not really any different from any other team we played. I would say that they're really good at like making really good individual plays. Just absolutely, if you make any mistake, they will punish the fuck out of you. And it's like, it's really hard, to be honest. Like, we can play perfectly, but if some guy just finds a perfect timing, he's gonna kill all of us.
Okay, le he preguntado qué tal ha sido, ¿no? Prepararse para todo esto, para equipos diferentes a los que está acostumbrado en EMEA, y me ha dicho que la verdad tienen mucha información en los equipos, pero que la preparación es básicamente la misma. La información está ahí y sienten que FPX les ha castigado bastante, ¿no? En cada error que podían cometer, ahí estaban ellos para poner la bala. Of course, you had a brilliant performance, let's call it like that. How do you think this is going to translate into the rest of the tournament? Because of course you guys are the least experienced in some senses. Do you think that gives you that underdog power?
I mean, to be honest, we don't really see ourselves as underdogs or overdogs. We're just a team that we're gonna try to play every team as well as possibly can, just play our game. So I don't think it's really gonna affect us. Like, even though like you saw at EMEA that we don't need stage experience. We're just the players that we are. We don't crumble under pressure, and that's it.
Dice que no se derrumban ante la adversidad, que no necesitan esa experiencia y que todo el torneo debería de ser así. No se consideran que sean débiles o que vayan a sufrir por todo eso. Real quick, before I let you go, Chamber, Reina, of course, a lot of things that we do not see in EMEA. Was it hard for you to adapt onto all of that, or was it just the duels?
To be honest, like, it's not that hard to adapt to. Like, obviously we knew their comps before we played them, just because they played them in like Chinese League. And so like we kind of knew what we were going into, but also I feel like a lot of EMEA teams also play kind of crazy stuff as well. So it's not like we played against a billion different comps and scrims, and it's just preparation, and our preparation's really good, and we know what they're gonna do, and yeah, we just execute.
La preparación también por encontrarnos agentes como Chamber, como Reina, cosas que no solemos ver en EMEA. Dicen que la preparación ha estado ahí, que estas composiciones ya han jugado contra ellas en scrims, en EMEA también, así que se lo podían esperar, sabían cómo adaptarse a todo esto. Well, thank you very much. I will let you go. We'll see you in a couple of days. And you guys at home, do not go anywhere, because there's Gen G against Loud coming up next.
Red Bull gives you wings.